That's fast. Oh, that's fast. Yo, you should go look up for like a beginner reel or setup. I think I have to switch out my spoon maybe. I wonder if they'll trigger on like a casting spoon. Probably. I'm gonna put a casting spoon on. I do have a night one. You bouncing? Alright, on stream if you want to watch. I'll talk to you later. Yeah, kind of, you can see what I'm doing, and you know, if you have any questions or whatever. Oh, do you? Good man. Oh, it's Monday, isn't it? Huh? Oh, right, yeah, yeah. Are you gonna get vanity plates? Or just, you're just gonna replace the one that you lost? How's it gonna work? Will it be all new? Or will it be probably, eh? I know this girl, she had vanity plates and somebody stole it on her. It took her so long to get them back. Like, even though that she reported it, took a long time to... Yeah, what's up? All sorts of stuff. What did we miss? You on your phone. Man, that guy came back and got that kill. Ugh. I should have known better. This guy's got a boat out here. What are you playing? Blackjack. Blackjack, where on your phone? Real blackjack or just play? Yeah, I wouldn't trust digital blackjack. This other person here raced at Polar Fishing. That's funny. Level 18, Lucky 7. Helios. Oh, I got a new cat, a new fish thing. Hey. Pair of sixes. Split that shit. Split it. Split it. Yeah, I wouldn't split sixes. I wouldn't even fucking. What are you gonna do? Hit on them? Oh, it's just a check and a 17. Hold. Unless there's a lot of face cards that popped up on the table, I would hold. Because you're more likely to get a 10 card on the board, you know? There's more 10 cards than anything else. 1.3 kilos. You don't love your dog. That's fucking crazy, buddy. It depends on the human, but what do you want me to say? See ya. What? At least I'm honest about it. Depends on the human. Like, there's a fire and there's Jeffrey Dahmer and a dog. I mean, what are you saving? I'm saving the dog. Saving the dog. I'm saving the dog. You probably would. Oh yeah? I mean, why would you shake his hand? Why is he famous? Oh yeah. He got meat on the cheap. Yeah, he sold a lot of sausage on the cheap. Nobody knew how he did it. People couldn't compete. What pictures? No, no, not at all. Why would I? Right, I've seen like different kind of like detectives handbooks and stuff, and seen the pictures like how like a shotgun does to a face. I've seen movies. Oh, did you? Oh, it's steakandcheese.com. Steakandcheese.com. Well, steakandcheese.com's been around since like the early internet. Well, yeah, you do. It's an OG website. Proceed with caution. I don't suggest it. It certainly desensitizes you. What doesn't? What do you mean crazy? I don't understand. That's the majority of the world there, buddy. There's people that have bad kind of. That's why I'm like you're into that stuff. You should be like learning from Grant Cardone as much as you can and getting in with those people and that community and network, so you can really. No, they're gonna make money. Yeah, so they get the percentage. God credit. How many income earning properties do you own? Yeah, right. Why do you need a brand new car? That's stupid. That's stupid. Waste of time, waste of money. You don't need to buy a house. You need to buy something that you can make money with. Just like, you can not, nah, man. Well, I mean, if it's a work vehicle, why brand new? I don't know. The cruise control's like older than you. Yo, cruise control's been around longer than you. Listen, cruise control came out before you did. They exist for over 20 years. What you need a touchscreen for? Yo, you can get touchscreens that are like 15 years ago, 10, 15 years ago. This is all old technology. What do you say? Listen, don't. What do I drive? I drive whatever I want. I live in a major urban center, and I don't need a whip at the moment. It's too much money. These guys want like 600 a month for insurance alone. Nah. What the hell's going on here? Oh. I take the transit as I need, or cabs as I need. Yeah. Works for me. Everything is pretty close by, you know? I don't want to leave more than like 5 minutes away from my house at times. I don't want to do shit, man. I did a lot of shit in my life, and I'm fucking agitated now. I mean, I do want to do things. What, who me? Yeah, I've done homeless. I've been homeless. One time for 2 weeks, and like the other side of the country. And then, 3 years? 3 years. Yeah, I slept in my car. I slept in my car. In the middle of winter. In Canada. Like, you get frostbite, bro. Yeah. Thankfully, you get something to protect you from the elements, but you don't have a fire or anything. And then eventually you learn where you can park and keep a little warm. What? PUBG? Sometimes, like PUBG or something. Not when I'm driving. On mobile. On like tablet. I had that gyro so you could just aim with your tablet and shoot. It was pretty cool new technology that I was aware of, new to me. So I had to like, you know, fuck with it. Not quite augmented reality, but close. They could do augmented reality. That'd be crazy. Is it you? Have you hung anybody in that game? You can hang people in that game. Oh, you're in story mode. Shoot the rope. Oh, you didn't shoot the rope? Why didn't you shoot the rope? What? You just want to be like the most offensive thing on the planet, eh? Yo, you keep talking the way you're talking, you're gonna have a lot more than cops to worry about. There's no kids in that game. Are there any kids in that game? Yeah, I know Jack. That's about it, from my understanding. What other shit does this fish eat? This thinking walleye. Oh yeah? That's alright, people. It's alright. Ah, well, you know. Meh. Yeah, if we all invested, if we all invested in Bitcoin too, when it was 50 cents, same business. Yeah, and Bitcoin is freedom. If you get it at 50 cents, you don't need fucking credit. People are begging you to take credit. You're not begging for a penny. Can I have another bowl of porridge, sir? I need to feed my kids. Like, it's like you're like, yo, there's so many new places taking crypto. Every day there are more and more people. They just don't want people buying it when it's super cheap. They want it to get up and get steady, and then people buy it once it's fucking steady. So that way no one's gonna get rich and not have to clean toilets for shit and get treated like a piece of shit. And then have to be, thank you, sir, for treating me like a piece of shit and giving me like garbage. Thank you. I worked 45 years of my life and I don't even own a fucking pot to piss in. Come on. Canada, you don't own anything. You don't own anything in Canada. In the States, you don't own anything a foot above the ground. Or I think anything below the soil and a foot below the soil. You just earn the surface. That's it. But you own it. But any mineral rights, you don't own the mineral rights. So if you find oil on your land, which would be highly unlikely, but if you do, it's not yours. Canada, eh? One of the greatest countries in the world. Was the greatest country in the world for a while there. It still is. It's just, someone's seems to have perverted the seat of power. And are much like a child trying to cause as much damage as they can before they leave. Because if you're not part of the states and you're not bowing down, you might end up with a fucking coup. Yeah. The states. If you're a foreign nation and you don't bow down to the states, then you might as well be Al-Qaeda, ISIS, a Russian, North Korean. It's typically a terrorist. How many have you met? tear down that wall. Who? Korean soldiers? Who's that? What's that? Well, I mean, like, it seems to me that they're being told, oh, tell me a country that isn't a dictatorship. Get the fuck out of here. But they just, no one's allowed to trade with them. They were starting to prosper and become very prosperous. They built that building, and then all the business got fucking absolutely obliterated. And it was like, no, 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 no. You're not allowed to become stronger. That's it. Eat your dogs. Eat your fucking dogs. And then if they try to defend themselves, they're terrorists. But who's allowed to do business with them? Right? They don't have to make money. And of course, I guess, you know, the one guy is taking advantage. He's like fucking him in the position of power. I don't know the details, but... I guess it depends on if you have a connection or not. Why would you want it? Man, to stay here, it's like, I'm not getting any bites. What about it? You're retarded. Well, yeah. Ever since we started trying to make America look great again. Can't look great when you got Canada sitting beside you. So let's decimate Canada and then we'll see how we look. It's such a... Are you talking Skid Row? Red. I think they've legalized all drugs there, so it's not a problem anymore. That they legalized all the drugs? Listen, go take a look at the port cities in Canada. You got Montreal, you got Vancouver, you've got Halifax, and there's a few other ones, but those are the major ones. And of course Toronto. Go see what's happening in those port cities. Tell me if that looks like it's a flourishing country, or if it's a country that's like being declawed. Sun Tzu. I don't know who it is, and if it's happening, it feels that way. And of course, if it feels that way, I mean, the only place I know that does stuff like that is Notorious. Doing coups and stuff. Especially against any country that might be deemed socialist and especially successful and might appear to be doing better than capitalism, which is really communism in disguise. Am I a liberal? I don't even know the difference, buddy. All it is you're either right or you want to be left. It's like you want a happy wife or do you want a happy, like, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? Right? Do you want to be right or do you want to be left? You know what I mean, right? That's how it feels. But I could be. Are you? You're a Kanye West kind of dude? Do you think he's gonna get in? But how much can he expose? Because that's a big thing, right? Is that so? $3,000 to rent a boat. Buddy. Oh, you'll be allowed to own shotguns. Well, I gotta start with something. Once. What about things like plasma rifles? Do you have a right to a plasma rifle? What about an ion cannon? What is it? What is it? What is the definition of arms, though? Like, can you run your own arm? Can you have your own army? Can you have your own? Can you have your own military? Mercenaries. Pardon? Oh. Oh, Dustin? Dust? Dust? Yeah. They make those parody videos of him, and then like people try doing this shit, and they're like, "Ah, fucking damn!" They shot in the face. Fuck. Donnie Dust Paleo. Is it Paleo? Oh, no, Donnie Dust Paleo is a different guy. You allowed to have weapons. You're allowed to defend yourself. You're allowed to have weapons. You're allowed to shoot bitches in the face. Yeah. America. American, yeah? It still is something. So Germany was taking over the world, and the world decided to attack Germany, and they lost, and they get called all sorts of bad things. Do you think the same thing's gonna happen with the states? I wonder if like during the time the Jews were put in there to like overthrow the culture. Maybe. What if the Spanish had won? Maybe. Yeah, I would think I think Britain won. And we just say that the Americans won. But it was actually the British won. That's what I think. You guys are the military-industrial complex of Britain. Britain went from being a soldier to being management. Not management, but like more like CEO. What? What's that? It only lasts as long as people respect it. And all it does is keep certain parties and powers like in control. I mean, and under control at the same time. Because you got to think this destruction that some people can do around the countries, these other countries. What do you think happens if they have militaries like that? And people do. I mean, there are private militaries out there, and they just decide, fuck it, we're gonna attack the people, and we're gonna send these stupid fucks out and make them do what we want. 100% that can happen. But you have a government in place which helps prevent that. But I mean, the technology is all created. This isn't like sticks and stones era. It's like some people can, program a little nanobot to come and kill you. Bizarre. Bear? Have. I was catching a shit ton of walleye, and now nothing is catching. You don't know what I have and don't have. You can just say the odds are. You don't know what anybody has or doesn't have. It's safe to assume. Safe to assume, but I mean, there's a lot of people in this world that do not live by the code of the casual citizen, and they live amongst the citizens. I'm not saying I have one, I'm just saying that, you don't know who I am and what I can do and what I'm allowed to do. I'm not allowed to do. No, I live in Canada. If I even talk like that, I'm gonna go to fucking prison, buddy. They're always being recorded. You're on PlayStation. There's too much money to be made. Being what? Oh, yeah? Yeah. And then yeah, that's a PS5 thing. Or the app, maybe. There's a transcript. And that's just the stuff you get to see. That's not even the stuff you don't even know that makes people money. The real shit that makes people money, they don't want people knowing what the fuck that is. They don't want you to know until it's like, what are you gonna know about it? Until like it gets to a point that there's gonna be more competition and we want it to be regulated. Now people are gonna learn and that's okay. But when nobody knows, nobody cares. Make your money. You know what I mean? And once everybody knows, then there's gonna be laws and stuff. Just like crypto, you're gonna see crazy crypto regulations coming down the line. 100%. You think the government doesn't want absolute control over its people? Especially with how many people come in undocumented, you don't know who's a fucking ally and who's here to cause shit. Real shit. They're still around? You mean you talking about the bell? The Nazi bell? Are you talking about the Nazi bell? If the Nazi bell existed? You don't know the Nazi bell? Go look it up. I don't know. Maybe. No idea. But I could imagine that like that something there is down in Antarctica. I can only imagine. Like apparently down in Antarctica where they could do all the best crazy tech. No, there's UFOs everywhere else. It's just they don't, people don't talk about it. They do. It's out there. Go look up Stephen Greer, Dr. Stephen Greer. No, I heard the conversation and how you can tell the difference. I mean, good luck, but I don't know. I don't know, like the Tic Tac? Tic Tac Patty Whack? Oh, the one that flew by? Earth? It came so close to Earth when all the planets were their farthest distance away? Damn. Like when I looked at that, I'm like, why would a random object just happen to fly through at the most opportune time when most planets are out of the way? Unless you can identify the model of aircraft in the sky, I mean, they're all UFOs, aren't they? Technically. That's why they call it, yeah, UAP. Actually, it's, what is it? This is different now. It's not even UAP, it's something else. UAV? No. It's because they can go submersible. They go submersible and they can change mediums without problems. I don't think so. Secure Team 10 does a lot of really crazy stuff about this. If you want to watch that, that's some really good videos to watch. Got tons of them. Some of them are look. Oh yeah. Maybe. Yeah. They've been around since like early, well before early 90s. That is a big model. It's like 4 feet wide. Some shit like that. No, not anymore. I left it with my parents when I went out west. Like $12 American back in 93, 92, 93. Nah, it's gonna be like sure, why not? Are you gonna put a cornucopia behind it like it's flying out of the cornucopia? Why not? Be like it's like the cornucopia from the Fruit of the Loom. I mean, hell, man. I know so much about the world that we could be living on the very cell of a much larger being. And space is the space in between cells. Anunnaki? Jar Jar Binks? No idea. We're a slave race? Hybrid race? Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Nah, that sounds kind of weird though. I think like the simulation theory is one that's kind of funky. You don't even know your truth. You just know your perception of the truth that you've been exposed to and what you believe is the truth. Has it? So is the world flat or is it a globe? Is it firmament? Yeah. Yeah, and what do you think of that? Yeah, but we don't acknowledge that part of the Bible, right? Because that part's not true. Oh, there's a firmament, of course. I know, but we don't talk about that and we ignore it because it can't be true, of course. Oh, because science says so. I mean, yeah. How do you understand the firmament? The ozone layer? I don't know what that means. What gift is that? Yeah. This one, like, you really kind of need a boat. They're like, here's a boat. Pay $3,000 a day. It's fucking crazy. Like, that's going to be, like, more than half of your cut. But I bet you there's some fish that you gotta rent the boat in order to get. Right. So what does that mean? Was it? Well. So, pizza. Serious question. Is it flat or is it round? What? I hear there's even circle ones. Squares, triangles, and circles. Wow. I mean, I'm not going to say that, but I'll not disagree with you. I haven't tried it. Yeah. I'm just hauling in some walleye. Gotta get my money up, my levels up on this. Hollywood Acadian. Doesn't work. What? UFOs? Yeah, I go fly a UFO. That might be fun. But I mean, there are man-made ones, apparently. I mean, there's whistleblowers, but that might all be just BS. Oh, this is a small one. But at least it's one. Come here, you money pig. You money fish. Wow, this is 3 pounds. Over 3 pounds. Almost 3.5. 1.5. Can't even compare the two. No way. Yeah, I know, right? That's true. It's easier. Which of my 4 lures will work? No? Do you want me to what? Spinning your arm in a circle for a bunch of time? Is it? Would you rather be lost in the ocean or like lost out at sea or lost in space? Right? What would happen to a werewolf that was standing on the moon? Right? At first you're like, well, this is, and then when you start to think about it, it's like, wait, hold on a minute. Would he change or would he not be able to change? Would he just be a werewolf 24/7 or would he be a human? I think a human because he's not getting the full view of the moon. It's too close. Hmm? Lost in the ocean or lost in space, yeah. I don't know. In the ocean, at least you're on your planet. You got some connection to home. Yeah, and maybe even being found. Yeah, but in space, it's like maybe. That book you keep talking about. You know, you keep talking about. You read it? You read it? How many times have you gotten through it? So you only read through it maybe once? You only read through it maybe once? What do you think about all the books that are taken away that we're not allowed to read? I mean, they're part of the Bible as well, right? Maybe. Did I not say it? A bibliophile? There's apparently things that talk about the moon being brought here, like old, and then there's stuff apparently where like talk about like there was no moon in the sky or something. That the moon was brought in. I don't know. Do you believe in the Anunnaki? No? What about the Nephilim? There's a lot of flood stories. Even the Sumerians have them, and they were out 4,000 years before they wrote about it. Before the Bible. Well, the first we have is the one with like Enoch in there and stuff. Not Enoch. What's his name? It's a Sumerian one there. It's the oldest. It's a 3,000 word poem or some shit. So what do you not? You don't respect the Sumerians and anything that they wrote or talked about? Yeah, civilization 6,000 years ago. They wrote about a lot of things. I mean, we still use a lot of their systems that they invented today. Yeah. Hmm. I mean, well, the numbers don't line up for how quickly they learned all that stuff, like agriculture, the first standing army, um, the legal system, law, lawyers, the six decimal point system, all these things from the Anunnaki. Not from the Anunnaki, but from the Sumerians. They're on that fucking other planet, apparently. That comes around every so many thousands of years, and they can only be here. And then they stay here until that thing starts leaving orbit, and then they get back on their planet. Maybe some stay behind. Look at the Kingstone. The Sumerian Kingstone. Oh, look at the dates. I mean, so when you look at, like, during the Stone period, apparently it took over, like, 100,000 years or 11 or whatever, fucking 11,000 years or more for us to learn how to, like, shape a rock in a better way, okay? But then suddenly in, like, 10,000 years, we're doing, we've got the standing army, we've got law, we've got agriculture, and all this other stuff. And the Sumerians are like, we didn't create this. It was taught to us. And this is who it was taught to us by. And we still use things like the wheel and all of these things, we still use them today. They had the first form of writing, which is cuneiform, that we're aware of, and cuneiform apparently works with like languages, any language today, better than any language today. Like works with other languages, apparently. Believe what? I believe that we're all arrogant as fuck. You know, it's hard not to. Is it? Yeah. If you're playing fishing, you'd be tired. Oh, you're crazy. It's only boring because you're not good at it, and it's not easy. Even though it's not an easy game. It becomes pretty easy. It becomes easy. So, so are you gonna have kids? I'm surprised you've been married since 15 and you don't have any kids. Trying? Oh, someone is not fertile. At your age, you know, the wind blows and your wife gets pregnant. Mm-hmm. I mean, when you look around the world at that time, you see like all sorts of these beings that look very similar, and they're handing these bags to the humans. You know, books of knowledge. Every teachers. Ooh, 2.2 kilos. It's like 4.5 pounds. $524. Oh, it's a 16 fucking kilos of fish here. Can I say? Apparently. I don't know how that got happening, but sure. I'll take it. We're in survival mode. You haven't really been doing business lately, eh? Too much? How come? But why aren't you signing up like contracts ahead of time? Be like, hey, I got a discount. Duka duka duka. You know? And be like, and start setting appointments. Be like, okay, we'll anticipate this day here. This week here. You know? Why aren't you? You're young, man. Oh, you did some bad things? Fake seal? What the hell does that even mean? Why? And what was it? Who taught you this stuff? And nobody came after you? Who taught you this? Fucking buddy, you should be flayed. Yeah, it's a piece of shit. That's like, dude, that's fucking terrible. People like you give me a bad name. Huh? And would you use a fake name? But you had to sign contracts, no? Agreements? Yeah, why don't you go put your name back out there? I'm sure a few people will definitely want to talk to you. What game? Oh, I'm at Emerald Lake. No, you don't. You couldn't even fish here yet. I think this is like level 8. Yeah, you don't want to move yet. You want to stay there catching bass and the different fish. You got to try to get your catfish and finish those missions to get that premium coins. You got to learn how to make money. You know, to rip people off for their money. It's not quite the same. It's not the same feeling. You get that dopamine boost, but you don't get that actual good, real feeling. And you wouldn't know what I was talking about. I exist because people like you exist. I I did my industry so other people wouldn't have to get taken advantage of and fucked over. $1,000 for not necessarily my enemy. Well, friends for now until that enemy's vanquished. And taking that canoe is probably not a bad idea. $1,000 for the canoe though, man. Alright, enough of this day here. I got $4,000 almost this time. $3,800 for this run. I'm at 18,000 again. 54. At least in my mind. Listen, you're king in your mind. The only place where you're a king. If you're a king in your mind, then we need to introduce you to mental illness. Oh, I got 8,900 for that run. Actually. I don't know. That's my best pull thus far with 4,442 experience. No, not at all. when I actually bring good things to people, they're very hesitant because I have to be lying. Yeah, I'd like to think so. I'd like to think so. Honesty works for sure. Of course. I mean, you need selective honesty. But honesty. You know, there's some things people don't need to know. You don't need to tell your kids broccoli tastes like ass. You show them the ice cream and you slip the broccoli in. At the end of the day, when they're stronger and healthier, it's fine. They still give them a little ice cream at the end. It's fine. I've misled people before, for sure. Like, for instance, oh, 4 different pike, that's crazy. Or pickerel. Pike? Pickerel? Huh. Where I don't tell them everything that they're getting, because I don't think they're going to believe it, and it's going to scare them away. And then when they get it, they're like, holy shit, it's even better than you told me. I'm like, well, I mean, I didn't want to, you know? I didn't want to say anything. Wow. Makes me feel like something, I guess. Yo, fucking faggot. I just left that place. It's only going to cost me $500 for another day to play. But you said you're here, so I left it. And now I'm going to have to pay another $2,500 to go out there. Oh, go fuck yourself. Yeah, yeah. You not being able to catch fish and know how to set up your rod sounds like a you problem too. I told you. Sounds like a you problem. Well, you're either gonna figure it out or you're gonna fail miserably. I don't know if I should wait till level 19 for this one. Goes up to 6 kilograms though. 1.5 to 5. Power heavy. Level 20. Casting weight 40 grams to 120 grams. Huh, that's for some big ass fish. Yes, sir. Grams. Grammage. Casting reels, rods. I do need another feeder rod though. Reels. No, not at all. No idea. Ooh, this one here can hold the fish up to 5 kilograms. Man. I could have waited, but I wasn't even smart. I'd still be way far back. 3.5 kilogram fish. This is a 5 kilogram fish. I don't know what that is. Well, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't understand. I don't know. I cannot say. I don't understand. I do my best. You're so confusing. So many people. So many people, no races. Why are you so racist? Why you go to the race right away? Are you black? I'm kinda fast, but I don't race. That's so stupid to say. I live in city, only people here no color, the same as me. Why you think my accent's so good? Are you fucking crazy? Maybe. I don't know about this, but the more Indian, more Chinese for sure. More Indian, more Chinese. Chinese do business big time. Indian do some big business, and lot all small business. Security, everything. Financial, they take over. They say we own your country, you too stupid. We're going to fuck your country like our country got fucked. It's okay, don't worry about it, nobody cares. Why? Why? We have freedom of destruction. Freedom of destruction. This is what they tell me. Definitely a black bear. I don't know about a grizzly. You think so? Don't fuck with the bears. We don't like it. It's not a good thing to do. Popper's coming at level 20. I love it. I saved that money. Good stuff. 14 gram marker. Bells. Bells. Common bells. Common bells. It's fishing time in the city. Ring-a-ling. Hear them ring. The fish are nibbling at your lure. I guess so. Maybe. I don't do it a lot. I don't think I've eaten too much panfish in my time. I've eaten a lot of walleye, like pickerel, which I always thought was the same or some shit. But walleye. And bass. Bass is a little fishier. Maybe when you fucking cooked it. Maybe when you made it like that. You make it like that. Make it like that. 28 grams. That's a big one. I don't think I can run that. But I can grab this nighttime lure though. 21 grams. Too big. Too big. Do I have a safe word? I don't know what you mean. Safe for work? I don't think I understand. Safe for work. Safe for work. NSFW. All day. Not safe for work. No way. I don't think so. Narrow spoon, 14 grams. This is a good one there, but it's like 4 gold. You only get 5 of them for 4 gold. Do I own a gun? Why you want to come to my house and find out? Come in the middle of the night. I don't think I should be saying anything like that. Too much like what they say, solicitation of minor. No thank you. No interest. You are mine. My government. Buddy. Fucking terrified of everything. I'm like the Incredible Hulk. The Incredible Hulk of fear. It's like when the women always offer penis, they get numb to it. Numb. Apparently. I like it not because it's legal. I want to copy people. It's so cool. I want to be famous with the internet. People who don't know me ever in my life. Sounds so good. It's going to make my life so filled and enriched I don't even know how to comprehend. So good. Make you some faux pas. I'm like, what should I bring out here to fish with? How much fishing bucks do I have? How much fishing bucks do I have? Members 20 of 20 online 2. Yo, 5 bill. You gotta get 5 bluegill? Value spin. You don't know the real value of Malacca. What do I want to bring with me here? Anunnaki's going to spank your bum. Going to say, don't be a bad boy, you get hit too much. Oh, what do I got here in the soft? I gotta start deleting shit out of my main place, man. I have too much stuff. Gecko. The Anunnaki say you need to bring them so much gold in your life. We're gonna start mining corpses for gold now. slug. What takes slugs? I don't know what takes slugs. Slug. 5 centimeter. Yellow. Oh, here's an orange one. Yo, worms are like so much. Chocolate, pearl, yellow. Slug. A rifle slug in your face. I'm gonna bring it out with me. And my backpack. I like it. Where's baits? Wait, what baits are there? Shiners. Crawfish. Those are heavy, eh? Extra heavy. We got semolina balls. Mayflies. Red maggots. Gulf shrimp. Night crawlers. Now those are fish. I mean, those are worms. Those are worms. I call them fish. They turn into fish when you put them on a hook and throw them in a lake. I don't believe you. You get 25 of them for 170 bucks. I'd be so pissed if I walked into a store and they tried to charge that shit. Lose my shit on that. What the fuck is this? $170 for like 25 worms. Get your shit out of here, motherfucker. And he's knocking. And you knocking? I don't really have one of those rods on me though, so I can buy it another time. A crappy program? ACP? What's going on with my mini bass jigs here? I lost a couple of them? I lost a couple? They gotta be in here. No, my light was. Maybe I was high as fuck. Maybe it's Friday morning. And I wonder where my weed's at. So I'll just reach into my pocket for a fat weed sack. Anunnaki going to touch your pee-pee hole. Yo, I don't know. Mini bass jig. Mini bass jig. These are both. Why do I have so many of these mini bass jigs? I bought like a few of these, bitch. Eddie, are you knocking? Are you knocking? Are you knocking, Eddie? Eddie, are you knocking? What size lure can this take? Oh, it could take a 20. Why not? Oh, interesting. What's not good for the soul? Why not? Because they enslaved us? They enslaved us? I don't know if they would go after the spinner. And are you knocking? Are you knocking, Eddie? Eddie, are you knocking? Are you knocking, Eddie? Okay, I'm ready to jump in here. Rocky Lake. I don't know Rocky Lake. You're obsessed. Yeah. Yeah, Emerald Lake, 3,000 just to go there, plus your license, which is 500, plus your advanced. Oh, your day, which is 500, plus your advanced, which is like, because you got to get the advanced license, and you can either pay 50 coins, which I have, you get unlimited emerald. But you got to do a lot of fishing there. Don't like what? I don't know. I don't know, Anunnaki. We are not acquainted. Daisy has permadeath now. Mm. Mm. It appears to be. It doesn't show you. Are you not in the fishing game now? Fucking dick. Come over here for nothing. I was gonna say the other place. Ugh. Oh, so you just trolling me? Okay. And you knocking? Are you knocking? Yeah. So I lose 5,000 for the day fishing, and I lose 3,000 for that for traveling. $8,000 to sit here and fish at Texas. I just spent 8 grand to come fishing at Texas. I just spent $8,000 to come fishing in Texas. Yeah, because I get about 5,000 a day fishing at Emerald Lake, and it costs me 3,000 to go back. So I don't get the day of fishing at 5,000, and it's over 5,000. Are you not? What about real rewards? Yeah, I've had those too. Annual knocking. Just go take mine down. I don't know. I really thought about it. I don't know. I haven't really, I mean, I fired it. I don't know. 45 isn't bad. 45 is not bad. course, I've shot at a few. Shot 9 mil, I've shot 45, I've shot other ones, you know. I've driven Avalanches, I've driven Escalades, I've driven Benzes. The Avalanche? I mean, I haven't ever driven a Suburban. Yeah? I know, eh? They don't. Oh, they don't make the Avalanche anymore. I haven't seen an Avalanche in a while, I guess. That long ago? Yeah. Beetle in a word. Maybe. How often do you shoot? Can you ever shoot enough? I haven't shot in a while. I haven't shot in a long while, actually. I don't even know what the ranges look like today. Are you still allowed to go shoot handguns in ranges? I don't know. I don't know. I'm talking about Canada. No, they banned them. Glocks, yeah, he looks alright. Shadows aren't bad. The CZ shadow, USB. Sapolush. Is it? Fantastic. Yeah, eh? Are they? Whoa. Bacon water. We call that bacon grease. Bacon grease? I just got a 739 gram bass. 129 bucks with that little reel, and I was using red drag on it. Practicing my drag now. My drag fishing. Fucking up the line a little bit, but ooh. Yeah. Sometimes I guess. Poppy, for sure. Whose ass is your wife trying to get over there? Did I snag something? Or was it a frog? It's gotta be a frog. I don't know, February. You're playing the 49ers? Okay, put your money on the Chiefs then? Is it Kansas? Is that Kansas? I thought you said 49ers. San Francisco. San Francisco. We have a whole league. We have a league. What? We got football. We play with a bigger ball than you guys. And it's yes, sir. Yeah. I think we play with, was it 3 downs? Is it 4 downs? There's some other rules that are different. CFL's pretty tough. Like it's a substantial. Yeah, I've been to those games. Been to Argos games. Thought you getting that hunting game. Oof. How much is it? For the hunting? Not really. Games used to be $60 back then. How old is it? No. Can't be that old. 5? But you're not ever gonna get to use if you're lucky. Like pretending to take care of people. Present. $138, 795 grams. pull you in this other bass. Is it? Can't breathe? Okay. Hardcore criminal? There's statues about him? Oh, that was close to snapping. Oh, that was so close to snapping. Oh, yeah. Like 90%. Ooh. Oh, I thought I could pulled it in and it almost snapped the line. $145. That's an 836 gram bass. That's that's over 2 pounds for this bass. Over 2 pounds. Maybe 2 pounds. Oh, I'm beating the shit out of my rod. Alright, I'm gonna do one more and then I'm gonna go out. Oh. Caught a frog. Or is that weeds? Oh, is it backlash? It might be backlash. Backlash would be cool. Yay, I got some backlash. I need 2 more. Two more backlashes and I'm good. And I can go for the monster fish here. Just listen. If you ever end up in bad shit, just don't let the last thought in your mind to be that you're a juicy glue trap for the person that pops you. And God forbid that ever happens. I don't want you thinking about me and thinking like that fucking asshole. I'm a glue trap. This is a pretty big fish here. You're raping the mic. I repeated what your woman said. You're raping the mic. Your girl, she's like, you're raping the mic. Well, whoever the hell she's playing with. I just hear it. Oh, fuck. I almost cut my line there by accident. So close. I don't. I just hit. $150, 863 grams. What about a Mustang all-wheel drive? I think they only made one model. How much did you actually watch of Hunt Showdown? Did you really pay attention at all? Oh, did you? What did you think of it? Yeah, it's pretty intense. Yeah, it might be too thinking for you. There's a lot going on, especially the sounds. Holy shit. A lot of sounds. Glock 45s. I wonder if I can get one to like attack this. Is that something? She's like, I'm white, I'm white. I'm like, is that something we're supposed to be saying in this day and age? I'm the chosen race. Like, what? It's funny. I don't mean to listen to your wife talk, but like, I mean, there's a whole lot of sound in the background but her. Oh, there's definitely a fish on here. I'm guessing it's pickerel. Grass pickerel. Frog? What is this? Green frog. Green frog was stressing my line. Yo, I caught a, it feels like a pretty decent bass with this leech. Yeah, it's a lure, leech lure. I was bottom dragging it and lifting and dropping it. Is it a pickerel? Oh, it's not a bass, that's for sure. No, it's a grass pickerel. Come on, motherfucker. Get to your home. You're too good for your home. Come eat this thing. Oh, this feels like a bass. Another pickerel? I would have to bring shootouts back on the third one. I mean, they made reference to it with Bonnie Bell or something like that, and Red Dead 2. Yeah, I guess there's other gunslingers you can find as well, right? You gotta find? Yeah, you get Bonnie Bell, and then there's other ones you gotta do. Oh, this is a bass. Oh, dang bass. calling them broke. Come on, motherfucker. Oh, this fish is tired. Beat the black off him. 147, 846 kilograms. It's a big 863, 836, 800. All you need is lure, too. Bassmaster. Catch a certain number of bass. My line is down to 43%. I don't know how far I should push it. I keep running with the red. I've learned how to kind of play with the red a bit. It wears your line down, but sometimes you gotta tire the fish out. A little bit. How could you not be in this world? 1,200, 194 experience. Nazi anti-gravity tech. Sarah, whatever will be, will be. The future is not ours to see.
I work in medical imaging where patients have to drink oral contrast for their exam. Some folks really hate the stuff, and one patient, after being given the oral contrast, went outside and dumped it in the bushes and came back in and said that they had drank it. Our front desk lady actually saw her dump it in the bushes and told us about it, but we would have seen the lack of contrast in the image even if she hadn't told us. I talked to the patient and was like, we can see inside of you. We can't tell if you drank it or not. I work for a medical device company that makes bone screws. We had a patient sue us for faulty influence. Apparently his screws broke less than a month after surgery. But this is a big deal, and not just from a financial standpoint. So of course we launched a full investigation. Turns out the Dumbass decided to play tackle football less than a month after his major back surgery. Our bone screws are strong, but not tackle football strong. His case was thrown out. When I was a nursing student, I did a rotation on a transitional care unit in my first year of school, where people go to wait for a nursing home placement. Had an older man as a client who did not have any cognitive impairment complain about abrasions on his penis. Okay, all is well, and I called for a doctor to look at it to get some antibiotic ointment for it. The doctor can't come up to our floor for another few hours. I tell the patient this and leave to go do something else. About half an hour later it's time to go take his blood sugar, and guess what I find the man doing? Jerking off in plain sight, and his hand and penis are bloody and raw. I literally had to have a conversation with a man my grandfather's age and have to tell him not to masturbate while the abrasions are healing and to take it easier once it was healed. Talk about burning the bloody rubber. That dude really loves his egg roll. Discharged a patient of hysterectomy, moving uterus, stitches at top of vagina, and she went home and had sex, busting her stitches and allowing for her bowel to protrude through the vagina.
Oh!
An emergency procedure to fix it. And that's enough for this thread. Not after leaving, but this elder gentleman had
What's that? Breaking girls' vaginas? It's too much work.
I couldn't believe it.
Afterwards,
Now at time,
take them to the hospital,
I liked about my hospital was the food. We had a lot of immigrants.
Well, I got the Everglades on
Some
mine.
white person decided to hire a pretty diverse crowd of cooks. Jamaican ladies making spicy chicken, Japanese cooks making sushi, Mexican dudes making made-to-order burritos, local barbecue, etc. And it was all very clean from a nutritional viewpoint. All of it was inspected by our own views. And just about every day I would see patients turn down this excellent food and have their families bring them crap from fast food joints in town. But being in a hospital is strange and fast food is familiar. You only have jerk chicken though. I feel like I am that person. When I was 15 I broke my arm. Went to the hospital, got a cast about for a few weeks and got it removed. Great. I have my arm back. Now I wasn't the brightest kid and needed everything explained to me. No one told me not to have an arm wrestle with my fresh out of cast arm. No one explained it was still healing. 4 hours after having my cast
they do look more like cichlids with that forehead.
Getting a new x-ray and then a new cast put on by the same nurse who just took it off. I have never seen such disappointment in the eyes of someone who wasn't my mother. Your last sentence is priceless. Countess COPD asthmatics coming in for wheezing. So, rapid breathing. We treat them and the second they feel better they will state, I forgot something in my car, only to leave and light up a sick. A lady came to my
Oscars are in there? What?
Anxiety. The Tridge nurse, on a hunch, asked what she'd eaten that day.
I was looking at these Oscars.
I haven't had time to eat.
Fish.
This now being mid-afternoon, and at
Red
least
drum.
5 cups of coffee, genuinely clueless. Not a hospital worker, but I was in the emergency room due to a sports-related injury. Finally got let out after hours of x-rays and examinations that I was learning how to use crutches and watched someone with stitches on his arm start scratching like he was going to run all the way home.
Well,
He turned around, walked towards the desk and yelled pieces of crap after the cut of his arm reopened mid-stretch. The woman at the desk looked so proud. Somebody lit up a cigarette in a no-smoking area with a nasal cameo on and lit their face on fire. Had to come right back into the
These are so cool.
with Canyon OMG. Always outside the main entrance puffing away beside their O2 tank.
And some
Jesus
peacock.
take the wheel.
Some peacock cichlids.
Discharged from our emergency room and wanted
Well,
to
it's
have
supposed to
doctor
be.
get
This
down.
is a.
We wouldn't give him one because he didn't meet our requirements. He walked outside, called 911.
$4,000 just for a day fishing here. 11,000 for that. That's insane.
From our main entrance. They refused to pick her up and asked her to go to our ED. Go out to the car park, meet their dealer in a car, and shoot up through their IV canyon, then saunter back into their room as if we couldn't help. That's why more and more hospitals...
$1,000 extra a day.
It's a
Damn.
huge liability. Not to mention when doctors come to see the patients, they may not be in the room. In the Darwin Awards is a tale of a man in hospital with a skin problem. The staff coated
everything.
Wondering about it and told him to keep away from any sources of ignition. He immediately snuck outside for a smoke. Went up like a Roman candle. Not a doctor, but I knew someone that is a fitness freak to an obnoxious level. She had a medical emergency, intestinal blockage. One day that involved major abdominal surgery and removal of part of her intestine. The day she was released from the hospital, she went back to her insane workout routine, trying to make up for the muscle she lost. She claimed her doctor told her she could. Her intestines ripped open. She barely survived. She still claimed after the fact that her working out had absolutely nothing to do with her body ripping open and it was just bad luck. Over-exercising can be a form of eating disorder body dysphoria. She should get help. Inject H into their PICC line. Big IV. Leave to go smoke a cigarette and get hit by car. Steal from a 7-Eleven while in a hospital gown. Escape from here and steal an ambulance. How do you manage to steal an ambulance? Patient came in for shortness of breath. She was seen and discharged. A nurse saw her walk into the parking lot, jab herself in the leg with an EpiPen, and come right back in saying that she's short of breath. That's not done. That's a mentally ill patient. My brother works as a volunteer for the Red Cross. He mostly volunteers as a medic in ambulances. He told me how they picked up a guy because he crashed his bike after he didn't pay attention and got his tire stuck in some tram tracks. About 3 hours later he was picked up again after he tried to ride his bike with one hand in a cast. First time round he sprained his elbow. Second time round he broke his shoulder on the same side. Well, he didn't disable himself on both sides. There is that as a silver lining. I don't work at a hospital, but off the top of my head. 1. The patient who refused to get in an ambulance when he was having a heart attack until we let him have a cigarette. 2. The patient who while having a stroke insisted he was fine and was just going to go home and nap. We got his niece to come and bring him to the ED. 3. The patient who insisted he knew his body and was able to frighten his paralyzed limbs into working correctly, and that was why he did not need an ambulance to go to the hospital for the stroke he was currently having. His limbs were paralyzed because of his first severe stroke. This was his second. 4. The parents who when their infant had trouble breathing gave him a lot of milk to drink and laid him down. Kid was fine, but these people were clueless. I have way more. Can you believe the patient did that? Stories, but these were the ones I saw myself. As requested, more crazy patient stories. 1. The IV drug user who refused free vaccines cause they didn't want unsafe substances in their body. 2. The addict who wanted to know the safest way to use C because their dealer kept mixing C with H. We told this patient there is not a medically recommended safe way to use C. This person just decided to switch dealers. 3. The person who knowingly let, and I do not use the word let lightly, her child be sexually abused and complained that we made their child sick and were not providing sufficient care for their child's reoccurring nightmares and depression. 4. The patient who had tumor grow to the size of a watermelon before they sought treatment. This person is actually doing really well now and last I checked expected to make full recovery. 5. The mother who was convinced her kid had hearing issues. Kids' hearing worked just fine, they just ignored their mom. 6. The patient convinced they had memory loss. They didn't. They did have 4 kids under 5 and a newborn though. 7. The patient who was frustrated that his 7-year-old was obese and not losing weight despite the fact he kept buying her junk food. 8. The patient convinced we were going to hurt him during specific minor surgical procedure needed to diagnose his health problems and just screamed at us at different visits. We have never forced him to get that procedure, nor do we provide it on site. 9. The patient, who is very, very poor with no real assets, who refused to speak about DNRs and mobile while I was in the room. The only patient who has ever refused to speak in front of me. I think she thought I was trying to steal from her. IDK on just basic stuff. 10. The patient who called me cute. He was completely blind in one eye. To date he is the only patient that has ever called me cute. I am a aggressively average-looking person. I just find this story funny. Not a hospital worker, but my grandfather's wife tried to sneak KFC into the hospital for him immediately after triple bypass surgery. I am in IT and was working an overnight shift in the emergency room supporting a new software rollout. A dude was brought in because he uncomfortably stumbled out in front of a car and got hit. When my shift ended around 11 AM, I went to a little Irish pub down the street to have a beer and some lunch before I headed home to get some sleep, and lo and behold, guys, who is in there drinking again? Yet same dude from Leo was already drinking whiskey again just hours after being released from the hospital with a broken arm and a few other injuries. This is just sad. Had a guy in his 20s coming with a beat from a car accident. Decided to discharge against medical advice. showed up the very next day after attempting to back out of his driveway and slammed into his girlfriend's car. I work in a cardiac clinic and I had a patient come in who was just a ball of anxiety about all sorts of things but mainly COVID. He had no symptoms either, just general anxiety. Anyway, he walked out of the clinic, immediately took off his mask and went into the Jimmy John's across the street. Seriously? You come to specifically talk about your fears of COVID and then you take off your mask before going into a store? Why? On my OB rotation in med school, we had a 32-week pregnant woman with cardiomyopathy, heart failure-like condition, and an ejection fraction of 15%. Bad. She's inpatient until delivery and everyone's worried she will die during or after delivery. One night a unit clerk calls and asks the nurse on duty, "Have you all seen Ms. X tonight?" The nurse says, "She's in her room, I assume." The clerk then says, "Well, that's weird because I'm looking at her eating a funnel cake at the state fair right now. And the patient just decided she needed a break from all of this hospital life." Okay, this was me. I had finished a sleep study, as to which I barely slept and had to redo it. I was 6 a.m. and I was leaving the hospital. I walked into a glass wall, which was clearly a wall. It even had the visibility stickers on it, twice. Twice I bounced off the same wall in my attempt to leave the hospital. Sleep depravity is a BLOL. A dentist had to put a little boy maybe 3 under general anesthesia to treat his bad teeth. Everything went fine until he was about to leave and I saw his mom getting him Gatorade. Turns out it was his favorite drink and it was almost all he was drinking. The parents thought it was a fruit juice and that it was okay for him to drink. No wonder he had so much problems with his teeth. Poor little guy. Patient obese enough to be in a wheelchair, went outside for a smoke. Cigarette in one hand, inhaler in the other. One puff of the cigarette, one puff of the inhaler. Inhalers are often used for bronchial dilation. I imagine that would increase the effects of smoking. Mind you, I'm not saying it's a good thing. I just recognize how it might work. This doesn't fit super well, but I once had a patient who insisted on leaving the hospital, discharge against medical advice, because it's hard to get a good night's sleep. Now, I will admit, hospital is not the quietest place at night. You have doctors going around checking on sick patients, machines beeping, etc. But they are there for a reason. We could not convince him to stay, so we turned to his wife. His wife said she agreed with us, but she can't change his mind. He died the next day. It was a very treatable condition. Serious, but he had a good chance of recovery if he stayed. I guess he got a good sleep after all. Holy crap, that was darker than I thought. I'm a pharmacist, and one of our patients has been coming in to get nicotine chewing gum regularly for at least 5 years now. Problematic in itself, I know. This time he really wanted to quit, so he asked about nicotine patches, but decided they were too expensive. As I was walking home from work minutes later, he rode past me on his bike with a lit cigarette in his mouth. We had an angry drunk that came via ambulance from a city about 30 minutes away. He left AMA, walked to the nearest motel, used their phone, and then called 911 hoping to be taken back to his city, but he ended up back in our ED. Needless to say, he left AMA again a few minutes later. When I was working in the hospital, I had a patient who had a central line, which is an intravenous line into a large vessel in his chest. He went in a wheelchair with a friend of his to the parking lot.
Yeah, the Everglades is salt water, apparently.
With he overdosed, his friend pushed him into
the Everglades in the game is salt water.
He was found in the elevator unresponsive. He was successfully resuscitated so that he could return to his life of substance abuse. They don't always wait until they're out of the doors to do something stupid. They'll have their friends sneak in drugs and shoot up on their bed. Addiction is a disease after all. When my sister was about 3, she refused to leave somewhere. Can't remember, and my parents were holding her and my sister went limp and popped her elbow out of place, so they took her to the hospital and they fixed it. I crap you not. I'm not lying. The second they opened the door and stepped outside, she was already throwing a fit and went limp again the second they walked out and popped her wrist. So they had to walk back inside and get it checked, and while the nurse was trying to get her to sit still, he accidentally popped out back. And then they investigated your parents for being abusive, LOL. Not a hospital worker, but when
400-pound sharks. You can fish sharks in
the
this.
hospital, and when we left, I was walking backwards talking to my mom. I turned around and smacked my head against a parking sign. Had to immediately go back into the hospital to ask for some ice. I imagine the nurses watching got a laugh out of that one. My mom sure did. I know someone who fell and broke the bone above the eye by hitting the door handle. When her mother and brother were visiting her in the hospital, she shared the entire experience in great detail, which led to her brother feeling uneasy. He tried to leave the room but fainted, hit the door handle and broke the bone above the eye. I work as a respiratory therapist, so part of my job is to manage ventilated patients. Often I'll have patients who are in due to drug or alcohol overdose. I remember one patient who had been intubated because they were found unconscious in their own vomit. We had the person for about 2 weeks intubated to protect their airway while they detoxed. Long story short, they finished detoxing, left AMA, against medical advice, went home and same day pounded a 2L bottle of vodka, vomited, aspirated and was found 45 minutes after and suffered an anoxic brain injury. They were back in the ICU same day, intubated again, and if they're still alive it's not without massive mental deficits. Happens often. People go through the whole detox cycle just to repeat the same mistakes. When I went through bariatric class, the instructor told a story of someone who, after surgery, ate a burrito on the way home from the hospital. They had to have another emergency surgery to fix the damage. Had a mom and be angry that we hadn't gotten to her daughter yet. Minor injury, already triaged and needed to wait for others with serious issues. She got so mad that she left with her kid, stood outside our entrance and called 911.
Yeah, me too. I'm just reading some shit right now.
15 minutes after it would have been their turn on to be seen.
Yeah,
it would have been a grand total of 30 minutes
take care.
to see
Cheers.
our dog.
Have a good night.
Had them take the